Hi, this is Lauren from LSP Actions and welcome to the tutorial video number 1 for the Harvest digital background for newborn photographers by LSP Actions. In this tutorial video I'm going to give you a brief overview of what's included, and then I'm going to get into detail about exactly how open, understand and best use this digital background in Photoshop. This is a multi-layer digital, which is a little bit different perhaps to other digital backgrounds you may have used, which will be flat JPEG images. This one gives you so many options to allow you to properly blend baby in and change the background to suit your styling. You will notice with your download you receive the digital PSD, the Harvest digital background PSD layer, and you also receive a PDF shooting guide and this video along with the other tutorial videos that are available for you to watch anytime you like. You can either watch these first before you get started, which I especially recommend if you're a beginner or self-proclaimed terrible at compositing. If you've used other LSP digital backgrounds before in the past, or you're competent at Photoshop, then you should be able to just crack on with these and just go for it. When shooting for this digital background, it's really great, I think, to get baby in the tushy up, the bum up pose, although in a huck fin would also work just as well. You want to get down and shoot baby side on to suit this digital background. I'd recommend shooting on a dark background layer. For example, this digital was created using peat brown background, so darker is always better than lighter if you can. If you've gone ahead and shot baby on white or something like that, it won't be impossible to composite, but it will make your life so much easier if you can shoot on the dark. The darker the better. I'd recommend shooting baby on the beanbag for this shot, or you can shoot baby on a bed prop perhaps, or on a crate, but just make sure they're in the right position with the light cascading down the face. So let's get started with opening this digital background in Photoshop. You will need to access your download folder and locate the Harvest digital background PSD file. Double click this to open into your Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop Creative Cloud. You can use any version of Photoshop from CS5 to CS6. You can also use some of the later versions of Elements. So your screen may look a tiny bit different to mine, but basically this is what you should see. The background will open up and you will notice in your layers panel over here you have a base layer, and then on top you have multiple other layers that you can change. If you're not sure about how to use layers in Photoshop, or you're a complete beginner, or you just need a refresher, please do look on YouTube. There are so many tutorials on there about exactly what layers are and how to use them. You'll also need to know how to use layer masks, and if you know how to use adjustment layers, that will really help you. But I'm going to talk you through it anyway. So you have your base layer here, and this is what it would look like when you open the image. Above this, you have a layer called Knit Blanket, and that is the area where baby will be placed, and you can see it's a rough knitted blanket. The eye is on next to this layer, which means it's visible. If the eye is off, if you like, for example here, the fur blanket, if the eye is off, it means the layer is invisible right now, you can't see it. If you shot baby on fur, on anything furry or fluffy like that, you're going to want to use the fur blanket layer for your composite instead. So you can simply come along here to this little box which is empty right now, click it, and the fur layer will appear. So you have these two options for your digital. You have the knit blanket, which should suit most options, or the fluffy fur if you shot your newborn on fluff. You will notice next to the knit blanket and fur blanket groups, this is a group, it's a folder, it has a little arrow here, and the instructions say open group. So you can click this drop down for more options within that blanket. So you'll notice here we have the blanket layer, and then above this we have a colour the blanket, and then lighten the blanket. You will see these are both switched off, the eye icon is not there. So you can turn the blanket colour on. You can come over here to this little box, this little icon, double click to open up your hue and saturation properties. Come up here to the rainbow slider and slide this to change the colour. So for example, if you've shot baby on a green blanket, You can change the colour to suit your baby image rather than the other way around. You can also increase the saturation down to grey or all the way up to very vibrant. So let me go ahead and close that and turn this off. If you shot baby on a lighter blanket, you can also turn the lighten on. You can play with the opacity of this layer to suit your image. You can also add your own adjustment layers here by coming down on this little circle icon, and you can add all sorts of things, levels, curves, brightness and contrast, vibrancy for example. You can add those in to further edit the blanket if you so wish. So I'm going to go ahead and close that now by clicking this little arrow. You then have edit the background and again open group. This will allow you to make the entire background warmer, boosted with the colour, and lighter. We have here your baby here, which is the baby group if I open that one up, but I'm going to talk to you about that in the next video when we come into adding baby in. So let's leave that one just for now. I know you're probably very impatient to know how to add baby in, but trust me, if you know all of this first, it's going to be a breeze. So above here we have contrast. You can turn this on or off to add this really hard contrast layer to your background, and again you can slide the opacity to suit your image. We have a vignette here which darkens those edges, and also a black and white layer. So you can really customize this to suit your vision. If you're used to working with flat digitals and you prefer to work that way, this is really simple. You can turn on or off the layers that you want to show, right click on the background layer and hit flatten, and that will turn this into a flat JPEG you can just work on. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be going slowly. At any point, please do pause the video and try these things out yourself so you can get a really good idea of the best way to add baby in. So I'll see you over in the next video where we're compositing a baby into this image, and I'm going to go nice and slow, step by step, explain layer masks, explain masking, selecting, and things like that, painting shadow, etc. So I'll see you over in the next video. I'm Lauren from LSP Actions. Thanks for watching.